So more startups fail because of a lack of customers than because they lack product or technology. This is sort of the key idea behind this whole course, that it's really about building a product that customers need and not about your product or technology. I'm Dan Manian. I'm the CEO and founder of a startup called Donut, and I've been doing startups for about 10 years. As Ali said, I'm teaching this with Professor Rick Fleeter, who's a professor in the engineering department. He was also my thesis advisor when I was an undergrad at Brown, and he also founded and was the CEO of his own startup called AeroAstro. So this course, the Lean LaunchPad, is really a hands-on approach to learning how to build a startup from the ground up. There's three key things that are the objectives for this course. The first is to learn how to do customer discovery. Customer discovery is a process of going out and talking to who you think your customers are to learn whether what you're building is something they actually care about, whether it's something they would buy. So in the course, we're going to talk about how to go do that, and you are actually going to go out and do that. The second objective is to have a deep understanding of the business model canvas. Business model canvas basically represents your business model in one sheet of paper. And we're going to use that throughout the course. And you're going to iterate on the startup idea that you're working on. The third thing is to simulate the chaos and uncertainty and pressures of a real startup. So this is going to be a 2-week course in the winter session. And in those 2 weeks, you're going to be living a startup that you're working on 24/7. So how are we going to do all that? Basically, the way the course is structured is you'll be working on a startup in a team of 3 to 5 students. You can apply to the course as a team with a startup idea, or you can apply as an individual with an idea, or an individual that doesn't have an idea, and then look for a team to join that does have one. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. We're going to meet every morning, and every day your team is going to present about your business model and what you've learned since the day before. Then every afternoon, you're going to go out and talk to customers to test a certain aspect of your business model. And we're basically going to repeat that for 2 weeks straight, and then on the last day, you're going to do a final presentation on what you've learned about your business over the course of the 2 weeks. The core lectures are actually online, so it's going to be a flipped classroom. You'll be watching lectures ahead of class time, and then we'll answer questions and talk briefly about that. But then class time is really used to hear about your startups and give you feedback. In terms of why this is a good fit for the winter session, it's really an immersive experience for 2 weeks. You're going to be talking to customers and working on a presentation every day. You really couldn't do it in with 3 or 4 other courses going on. Application process, so there are a limited number of teams that we can accept in the course. There's a maximum of 8 startup teams. We have a Google Sheet that you can find on the Winter Session website where you can register for interest in the course. And we're actually going to be facilitating team formation before registration closes so that we know who the teams are and what startup ideas you'll be working on.